So we have two awardees for the Eula Bingham Award this year, as John alluded to. And to introduce our second awardee, I'd like to pass the mic over to Heather Sorge.
Thank you, Kevin, and congratulations, John. Good afternoon. My name is Heather Sorge, and I'm the organizer for Healthy Schools Now with the New Jersey Work Environment Council, also known as WEC. WEC is an alliance of over 70 labor, community, and environmental organizations working together for safe, secure jobs and a healthy, sustainable environment. As WEC's executive director, Debra Coyle McFadden has gone above and beyond to meet the needs of New Jersey workers across the state. In response to COVID-19, Debra jumped right into action. With our colleagues at Rutgers University LEARN, WEC launched Saving Lives, Protecting Workers, a weekly webinar series which ran from March of 2020 through April of 2021. The hour-long webinars provided the latest COVID information from national and state experts and provided a space to hear from frontline workers, union representatives, and community members. In total, Debra and team developed and produced 46 webinars with more than 100 presenters and 4,710 participants in attendance. The series was so well received that WEC and Rutgers LEARN revived it this fall with an 8-part mini-series running through November. Debra also contributed to state and national COVID reports, emphasizing the urgency of COVID-19 worker protections, and worked with the Coalition to Protect New Jersey to win an executive order that protects workers from COVID and allots funds for worker trainings. Through WEC's COVID prevention and awareness training, workers, employers, and worker representatives have gained knowledge through participatory sessions to reduce risks of exposure through a systems approach to addressing COVID. Guided by Debra, WEC has trained more than 590 participants in response to COVID-19 and fielded more than 170 technical assistance requests to date. The WEC staff, who many, and I think if not all of us are here today, could not be prouder of Debra's hard work and dedication surrounding occupational health and safety training and education. She's led our organization, partners, workers, and communities during the deadliest pandemic and workplace health and safety threat of our lifetimes. We are grateful to have an executive director who not only has an incredible drive and vision for our organization, but also values our staff's input, creativity, and above all else, health and safety. We are so very grateful that APHA is honoring her today with the Eula Bingham Award. Please welcome WEC's Executive Director, Debra Coyle McFadden.
Thank you, Heather. Really appreciate that kind introduction and so lucky to work with everybody on the WEC staff. I'm humbled to be presented with this award from APHA, especially an award named after Eula Bingham, an astonishing occupational safety and health advocate who had the vision to start an occupational safety and health training program. And I want to congratulate all the honorees, especially Peter Dooley for a Lifetime Achievement Award, and John Morowitz, who also received the Eula Bingham Award. And John is part of the reason I'm here tonight. As Heather said, in March of 2020, WEC, in partnership with Rutgers LEARN, launched a weekly web series, Saving Lives, Protecting Workers. We believe there was a need to get the most up-to-date scientific information out about COVID-19 and create a platform for frontline workers, union representatives, community advocates, health and safety professionals to connect and share their experiences, both good and bad. Beyond sharing information, these webinars were a space to console each other. We were able to see that we were not alone. We were not the only ones suffering, and we were not the only ones searching for information and solutions. I'd regularly get an email after an episode from an attendee asking to connect with someone they chatted with in the chat box or a panelist. And that to me was the real power of the series, bringing people together. And this is a core principle of WEC's work and why the organization has been so effective. And I mentioned John Morowitz early on. In the pandemic, he reached out to me about saving lives, protecting workers. He was so encouraging. And without that call and the support that followed from John and the chemical workers, this series may not have happened. So thank you, John. I also want to recognize the WEC staff and all the hard work they put into it, especially Cecilia Lito and Sue Esposito, and of course, our partners at Rutgers LEARN, Todd Vachon and Mike Merrill, Collectively, we spent countless hours planning, refining episodes, and talking about the goal of the series. And Todd, as you know, is an incredible co-host. I also want to thank my board of directors for their support and commitment to the organization, and especially my board president, Jim Young. And a thanks to the founder of the organization and my mentor, Rick Engler, with whom I had the pleasure of working with for 17 years. WEC's mission is to bring together labor, community, and environmental organizations for safe, secure jobs in a healthy, sustainable environment. And I believe it's because of our collaborative approach that we have been effective, bringing together diverse constituents to find consensus and work together on common solutions to build power. And I've been fortunate enough to be with WEC for almost 25 years and the executive director for the last 3. For all intent and purpose, my only real job after graduating college. Although I did spend a summer working for the Jana Banana Singing Telegram Company, but that's another story for another day. I wanted to work for an organization that aligned with my values. WEC fit the criteria. Working at the intersection of the labor and environmental movement was exciting to me. What could be more important than to ensure at the end of the day, workers go home to their families unharmed? Preventing workplace injuries and illnesses and fatalities is something that is close to my heart. My dad, who is here tonight somewhere on the internet, lost his father due to a preventable workplace fatality. He was electrocuted. No family should ever have to experience this. And that is the driving reason that WEC, APHA, Kosh Network, Worker Center, unions, is why we do what we do, so workers can go home at the end of the day unharmed to their families. I'm privileged to do this work alongside all of you. And we live in an exciting time despite the pandemic. Across the country, workers are standing up to say enough is enough. We won't work for crumbs and we won't work in unsafe conditions. I believe this was an unexpected outcome of the pandemic. It united workers. Frontline workers that were hailed as heroes on social media and the news would go to work sometimes in inhumane conditions, and they'd be seen as disposable by their employers. And we have an opportunity now to change this. During a time that when workers are uniting, we also have qualified people running the Department of Labor, from Secretary Marty Walsh to Assistant Secretary for OSHA Doug Parker and Deputy Secretary for OSHA Jim Frederick. I'm confident that we can do this. It's going to require us to work harder than we've ever had to work before. We need to stay focused and continue to collaborate and work together to make sure we do it. And my commitment to all of you is that WEC is ready to stand shoulder and shoulder with you to make it happen. We have the goal in sight. Now let's get to work and get the W in the win column for all workers. Thank you so much for this incredible award.
Thank you so much, Devin. Congratulations. That's great.